Alrighty, you have been asking for this video for a long time. I see all the comments, I reply to every single one, and the one that keeps coming up is how do you become a flight attendant? So this video is for you, whether you're 15, 25, 30, 70 years old, it doesn't matter, it's never too late. You guys can become flight attendants, and I want all of you to become flight attendants. I have in the description 12 airlines that are currently hiring, so watch the whole entire video, and then at the end, go down the list, apply to all the airlines. Hopefully you guys get hired, get to become flight attendants, and maybe we'll go on a trip one day, who knows? This is 100% practical information that I wish someone told me when I was trying to become a flight attendant. If you guys don't know me, if this is your first video you guys are ever seeing, my name is Matt, my friends call me Malav, so that's what you guys can call me. I'm a flight attendant, I've been a flight attendant for about 5 years now, and I've been hired by some of the most major airlines in the United States. Before I start this video, I do want to let you guys know that I am going on another mystery flight in a week and a half with one other person. If you don't know what that is, it's when I go to the airport with no destination, go live on Instagram, boom, follow me right here at Malavs TV, and you guys literally vote for what country I go to. But let's get into the video.
Ooh, let me take you to flight school. We'll learn to fly.
Every airline has a different application process. Some airlines hire at 18, 19, 20. 21 is usually the main age that you have to be either 21 or older to apply, but some do hire at 18, and some of those in the description do hire at 18. So if you are 18, you can still become a flight attendant, but when you do your application process, you're gonna wanna put your resume on there. The best jobs to have on your resume to become a flight attendant, 100% you're gonna wanna have something in customer service. So whether it's sales, retail. My first job, I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. I used to deliver pizzas. So like if you're like literally delivering pizzas right now and you're like, oh man, I'm in my small town, I want more out of life, I want to see the world, that's where I was like 6 years ago. So if that's you, just watch this video because you can definitely become a flight attendant. It's really not that hard. Anything where you're interacting with the general public will help you out, because when you're on the airplane, they're going to want to make sure that you can handle situations, diffuse them, also welcome people on the airplane and just give them that warm hospitality. A few things that you do need to have your high school diploma or GED equivalent. You have to either have your passport or be in the process of getting your passport. And like I said before, you don't have to be 21. Some airlines do hire at 18. The first airline that I worked for, they hired at 19. So I was 20 when I started, but they do start hiring at 19. Also, if you're bilingual, that is huge. That would be so huge to becoming a flight attendant. I think Spanish is one that definitely helps out here in the United States. But if you know like a specific language, like if you know Russian or Mandarin or any of these languages, like that will definitely help you, because airlines need foreign speakers on international flights. So if you can speak Russian, that is massive. You're definitely, that puts you ahead. I'm not really that bilingual. Yo hablo un poquito español. Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos a bordo. I don't know the words, so I say paquito. I don't know the words, so I say dorito. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Also, another big thing on your application is there's usually a question of, where you live and are you willing to relocate? Pay attention. If it says, are you willing to relocate? I know you can commute if you're a flight attendant, but just say yes. Yes, you'll be willing to relocate. I moved from Rhode Island all the way down to North Carolina. I lived there for 2 years. Yes, I was willing to relocate. Like I moved all my stuff. I had never lived in North Carolina, and I just made it work because I wanted to be a flight attendant so bad. I would live anywhere. So if they ask you if you're willing to relocate, yes, you are willing to relocate. Like you don't actually have to relocate, like you can commute. It does make for a harder quality of life, especially if you're on reserve and you have to be there for, a few days away from home. But you're already gonna be away from home if you're a flight attendant, so.
Ooh, let me take you to flight school. We'll learn to fly.
So let's start talking about the interview process. It's a pretty, tenuous process sometimes, because you'll do your initial application. Some want you to do a video interview, a phone interview, in-person interview. Like there's a lot of different interviews that you gotta go through. We'll start off with a video interview. So if you're in a video interview, wear something, like this. If you're a guy, navy's good, black. I wore a tie to my interview. Any suit, you wanna wear the dark colors. You don't wanna wear like, neon green or anything like that. Something professional, clean cut. Same with girls. I saw a lot of girls at interviews that, wear scarves and stuff. As long as you look like a flight attendant, you'll be good. As for the actual interview, I have a link in the description of a website called Glassdoor that has a bunch of interview questions for flight attendants. A few that they ask me, they always say, tell me about yourself. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, tell me about yourself. Take a deep breath, relax, and just tell them about yourself. Don't make anything up. Be warm, be genuine. Definitely show some personality. Crack a little joke in there if you can. I've been asked that question literally every single interview that I've done for an airline. They'll ask you certain situations too. So they'll do a lot of questions where name a time when. Name a time when you went above and beyond a customer at a job. That was one. Name a time where you received outstanding customer service. I remember for that one, I was talking about like Chick-fil-A and you know how they hold the door open and they give you refills and they always say my pleasure. Like I didn't think going into the interview I was gonna be talking about Chick-fil-A, but they're gonna ask you a bunch of questions like that in the interview. So, you know, just be ready for them. When I did my interviews, I went on this website that listed, you know, a lot of different flight attendant interview questions, and I had a notebook and I wrote down every single answer that I would say, and I memorized every answer that I would say to any question. So that way, when I went into the interview, it's like they could ask me anything and I'd be fine because I've already prepared for it. The biggest mistake people make during their flight attendant interview, and this question is asked literally every single time, every interview I've ever been on to become a flight attendant, is why you want to become a flight attendant. The worst thing you can possibly say is, I want to be a flight attendant because I want to travel the world. They obviously know you love to travel. They know that you want to get the free flights and everything, but that's not why they want to hire you. They don't want to hire you so you just get to fly around everywhere for free. Like, that's not why they want you to become a flight attendant for their airline. They want you to represent their airline. They want you to bring your skills, your customer service, your warm, your caring, your quick action, your smile. They want you to bring your personality to work. They don't want you just to say, hey, I love to travel and I want to see the world. Like, how does that help them? That doesn't help them at all, you know? Like, if you want to travel and see the world, that's great, but that's not gonna make them want to hire you. Like, obviously, if you're a flight attendant, you get to do those things, but I don't want to hire someone that just wants to travel the world and be a flight attendant. I want someone to work for my airline that actually make my airline better, you know? So I want someone that's gonna represent my airline amazingly. And this is another big thing for people that want to be flight attendants. Some people tell me sometimes, I only want to be a flight attendant if I can work for Emirates. That's the only airline I want to work for. Are you kidding me? Like, if you want to be a flight attendant, you will go anywhere. That's like someone saying they want to be a lawyer, but they'll only go to Harvard Law. It's almost impossible to get into Harvard. If you can't do that, you're just not going to be a lawyer at all. Like, if you guys want to be flight attendants, I started at a regional airline, worked there for a couple years, and went on to a better airline, and then the best airline, in my opinion. So you got to start somewhere. If you only want to work for the best airline and you don't want to do anything else, then you can keep trying to get to that one airline. But if you work for another airline and you get to actually see how the job is, and when that other airline opens up their application process again, now you're already a flight attendant. So you have the experience and the knowledge of already being a flight attendant. So that's gonna look better on an application versus someone who has absolutely no airline experience. So if you say that you only want to work for Emirates, here's a news flash. You're gonna want to go to the airline that you can get in with, and then you can apply to different ones. But the best time to look for a job is when you have a job.
Ooh, let me take you to flight school. We'll learn to fly.
So next, after the interview process, boom, you're hired, come to training. You're still not a flight attendant yet. You still need to go through training, which is 5-6 weeks of ground school. You need to learn all the airport codes, memorize announcements, memorize equipment locations, routine flight duties. There's so much you need to learn, and they pack it into like just a few weeks of training. You need to get a 90 or higher on every single exam. I think you can have one retake, and that's, you know, different for every airline, but that's pretty much the gist of it. When you show up to class, be on time. Be on time. If you guys are not on time, they will literally kick you out of training. There was this guy, he was 1 minute late to class from a break. She said be back at 9:05. He showed up at 9:06. He was literally asked to take his things and he was escorted out of the training facility. So this isn't to scare anybody, but it's an airline. Like, if the airline is not on time, they lose money. So they want to make sure that when you're in training, you're not going to be late. Everything in training is to get you ready for the actual job. So just don't be late if you're in training. Study hard. Don't go out and party. That's probably the number 2 thing that people get kicked out for, is just drama. Like, the first airline I was at, We started with 60 people in our class and we graduated 16. There was so much drama in the class, and if you just stay out of the drama, you don't go out, you don't party, you keep to yourself, you show up, you smile, you look good, you do good on your tests, it's easy, it's a cakewalk, it's not that hard. You know, you just really gotta want it, and you can't get caught up in all the extracurriculars and everything else that people do during training. Like, you're there for one reason. Like, when I'm in training, boom, I have tunnel vision. I've been through 3 different trainings. I wake up, go to class, work out, study, and repeat. That is it for 6 weeks. That is all I do. I don't go out, I don't do anything, because the only reason I'm there for one thing. I'm there to get my wings. The only time I went out during training was literally the night before graduation. That's when we all, you know, celebrate finally passing and getting our wings. That is the only time that I was celebrating. People that would like go out, I'm like, what are you celebrating? You haven't gotten your wings yet.
Ooh, let me take you to flight school. We'll learn to fly.
Okay, so you're done training and you're finally a flight attendant. So now you're on probation for 6 months to a year. It depends on different airlines. And this part, you know, is you're pretty much there, but you still have a little bit more to go. Usually you're gonna be on reserve, which is your on call. So you have to be within 2 hours of the airport when they call you. It's not that hard. You just answer the phone when they call, go to work, you show up, you do a good job, and you go home. You do have to be vigilant, you know, about security, safety. You know, being a flight attendant is so much more than passing out peanuts that, you know, you really only learn once you actually start to do it. Those are some tips to becoming a flight attendant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash a like on it. If you guys aren't part of the family, smash the subscribe button. Like I said before, there are 12 airlines that are currently hiring. The links to those applications are in the description. I want you guys, if you really want to be a flight attendant, to apply to some of these airlines. If you really want it, send me a message on Instagram. I'll give you guys shout outs on Instagram. Tell me you applied to an airline, because I want you guys to be flight attendants. I tell everybody, even my best friends that I've been friends with forever. I have some friends that are accountants. My best friend sells windows, and I'm like, come be a flight attendant, because I love it and I want everybody to have the same opportunity. Before I was a flight attendant, like I said before, I was delivering pizzas. I was in college. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do something in my life that was bigger than myself. Like, I wanted to do something. I'm from the smallest state. I'm from Rhode Island, and I absolutely love Rhode Island. But everybody in this state, they never leave, you know, they don't go anywhere. And I wanted to be a part of something that could just expand my mind. And I've learned way more from being a flight attendant for 5 years than I would have ever done in college if I had finished and gotten a regular 9-to-5 job. That's not for me. That's not the type of life I wanted to have. So that's what I did, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, Mystery Flight number 6 or 7 is coming out in a week and a half. I'm going with one other person. It's gonna be so sick. I cannot wait. Make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay up tuned with all the updates. My brother is getting married right now, so if you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, you can see all the craziness that's going on right now. I also want to give a shout out to my boy Elliot Hobday. You're my boy. You're one of my day ones. Guys, if you want shout outs, make sure you apply to one of these airlines. If you want to be a flight attendant, let me know how it went. Let me know in the comments other videos you guys want to see. I hope this video helped you out, guys. I really hope you become flight attendants. And you guys know what to do. This is Miles TV. Smash that like button and let's fly, baby.